Okay, we have our Unit 9 review. This test is a big portion of just making sure that you read carefully and see what each question and each answer choice is asking you. So I want you to follow along. Please show all your work and then make sure that you read each question carefully on the test. So we have number 1. We have the table shows the low temperature in degrees Fahrenheit, or the low temperature in degrees Fahrenheit for a city for 12 days. Okay. It says, what is the range of temperatures in the table? Range is the difference between the highest value and lowest value. Okay, so if I look through and I need to find my highest value and my lowest value, my highest is going to be 60, and that's going to be subtracted from 29. So 60 minus 29, 0 minus 9, you can't do that. 10 minus 9 is 1, 5 minus 2 is 3. So 31 equals my range. H is your correct answer. Okay, moving down to number 2. The 6th grade class at Jones Middle School completed a survey to complete a science project. Each student answered the questions, what is your favorite meal? The result of the survey are provided below. So we have breakfast is 10, lunch is 25, dinner is 15. So which statement about the data in the table is supported by the data in the table? So supported means true. Which statement is true? So it says 10% more students chose lunch than students who chose dinner as their favorite meal. Okay, so 10% more chose lunch than dinner. So we need to figure out the percentage between lunch and dinner. To do this, we have to do our percent proportion. The part over whole equals percent over 100. So we need to find our total. 10 plus 25 is 35. 35 plus 15 is 50. Sorry. 50 is my total. And then I'm going to look at lunch, which is 25. That's my part, equals x over 100. And then I'm also going to look at dinner, which is 15 over 50 equals x over 100. There's 2 ways we are going to do this. On lunch, I'll do one way, and then dinner, I'll do the other. So to get from 50 to 100, we do times 2. So do 25 to x, you do times 2. 25 times 2 is 50. So 50% is lunch. And then the other way is we can cross multiply and divide. 15 times 100 is 100 or 1,500 equals 50 times x, which is 50x. We divide by 50 on both sides. Since they both have a 0, we can cross out our zeros. So we have 150 divided by 5. 5 can go into 15 3 times. You get 0. 5 can go into a 0 0 times. So 30% is dinner. Okay, so it says 15% more students chose lunch. Lunch to dinner, the difference is 20%, 15 to 30. So this is wrong. This would have to be 20%, so this is not true. The mode of the data is dinner. Mode means most. Our mode is going to be lunch, so it is not dinner. Less than 50% of the students chose either breakfast or dinner as their favorite meal. So we already found lunch is 50, dinner is 30. We'll go ahead and write this over here. Now we need to find our breakfast percentage. Same thing, we're gonna start up 10 over 50, part over whole equals percent over 100. To get from 50 to 100, I do times 2. 10 to x is times 2 as well. 10 times 2 is 20. 20% is breakfast. So less than 50% like breakfast or dinner. So 30 plus 20 equals 50. 50 is not less than 50, so that is not correct. And then lunch was the favorite meal for 50% of the students surveyed. And that is true. We've already figured out that lunch is 50%. So as you can see on question 2, you have to make sure that you look at each one and solve each answer choice to make sure it's true or false, and then decide if it's asking for a true statement or a false statement. Going on to number 3. Okay. It says the dot plot shows the number of chess games won by each of 20 students in a competition. Which statement of the data is true? So, all of the answer choices are asking median and inner quartile range. So I'm just going to go ahead and find that. I'm going to do that by listing all of my numbers out and finding the median first. So I have 3 zeros. So I'm going to list 0, 0, 0. I have 2 1s. I have 3 3s. I have 3 4s. 2 6s. 3 7s. I'm going to move over. I have 2 8s. Gotta go to the bottom, ran out of room. 1 9 and 1 10. Okay, to find the median, I just cross out to find the middle. So I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 crossed out on my left side, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 crossed out on my left, or my right, sorry. 4 and 4 are in the middle, so if I add 4 plus 4, I get 8, and then I need to divide by 2, which is 4. So my median is 4. So I can go ahead and look at my answer choices. F says the median is 4, G says the median is 4, H says it's 5, and J says it's 5. So you don't need those two. Now we need to find our inner quartile range. To do that, we have to do Q3 minus Q1, and that equals my IQR. So I need to find those. So I'm going to draw a line down my middle, and then I'm going to find the middle of my left half of data, or my first half of data. And I get 1 and 3, I think. 1 2 3, 1 2 3. Oh. 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4. Just kidding. This is 1. So sometimes this is why I like to mark over the numbers. You can mark on the numbers as well. Just make sure that you have the same on both sides. 4 numbers are crossed out here. 4 numbers are crossed out here. I'm left with 1 and 3. 1 plus 3 is 4, and then I divide that by 2. I get 2. So 2 is my Q1. Okay, then I need to find the median of my next half of data. Since there was 4 pieces of data marked out on my other side, I know that I need to do 4 on both sides. So 7 is here. 7 plus 7 is 14. Divided by 2 is 7. So 7 minus 2 equals 5. So my inner quartile range is going to be 5. Okay, number 4. The dot plot shows the number of touchdowns a football team scored in 10 games. Answer the following questions about the dot plot above. So does the dot plot have any gaps? Gaps means there's numbers that don't have dots above them all the way till the end. So this one doesn't have dots, this is a gap. This one doesn't have dots, this is a gap. This one does. So there are gaps. So yes, They do have gaps. How would you describe the shape of this data? Okay, the next part is, how would you describe the shape of the data? So where is the data most at? And the data is most on our left-hand side. So the right-hand side is skewed. So it's going to be skewed right. Okay. Where is the data clustered? This means where is the data most at? And I would say that my data is most clustered at 2. And then where is the peak of data? If I think of peak of a mountain, that's the very top of a mountain. Where is my tallest row of dots? And that's going to also be at 2. Our peak is also going to be the mode. Okay, going on to number 5. It says the histogram shows the total number of swimmers in different age groups who participated in a swimming competition. Based on the histogram, which statement is true? So this is another one. We have to watch each of our answer choices to see if it's true or false. There were 15 swimmers who were younger than 30 years old. So if I look at 30 years old and younger, I have to figure out how many swimmers. There's 5 here and 10 here. So 15 swimmers who were younger than 30. That is true, because 10 plus 5 equals 15. So A is correct, but let's go ahead and check the rest just to make sure. A total of 10 swimmers were 50 years or older. So if I look at 50 years or older, I'm looking at my lines. This one's going to be 4. This one's going to be 8. So 8 plus 4 is 12, which is not 10. So that B is incorrect. Okay, the number of swimmers who were 40 years old or older is less than the number of swimmers who are 29 years or younger. So 40 or older, we already found these 2. This one's going to be 1 less, so that's 3. And then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 13, 14. Sorry. 14 is here. So we have to add up these. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So 29 is older than 40, and then 29 years or younger, and that's 10 and 15, or 10 and 5 equals 15. So the number of swimmers who are 40 or older is less than. 29 is not less than 15, so that is incorrect. A total of 70 swimmers participated in the competition. So I need to go ahead and find the total of the rest. This one is also 10, and this one is 20. So if I add them all up, 5, 10, 20, 10, 14, 3, 4, and 8. This is a 7, 27, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 77. It is not 70 swimmers, so D is incorrect. Okay, moving on to question 6. Sorry. It says the students in class were each given their favorite meal of the day. The results are shown below. So we have supper, lunch, and breakfast. Which table could be represented by the percentage bar graph? So breakfast is going to be this first one, and it shows us that breakfast is at 30%. So I'm just going to go ahead and write that out next to breakfast. Lunch goes from 30 to 40, so it's only going to be 10%. And then supper is from 40 to 100, so it's going to be 60%. And if I add those all up, I get 100 because every percent is out of 100. So we have 60 plus 10 is 70, 70 plus 3 is 100. Okay, what we need to do is we need to find which of these graphs will give us this data. 60% for supper, 10% for lunch, 30% for breakfast. So this one, it says breakfast is 3, lunch is 4, supper is 10. What I have to do is I need to find my total. 10 plus 4 is 14. And then we get 17. So my total is 17. We'll start with our breakfast, since it's the first one. Over 3 equals x over 100. So what I need to do is cross multiply and divide. 3 times 100 is 300, and I'm going to work this out over here in my blank space. This is F. 300, 17 times x equals 17x. I'm going to divide by 17 on both sides. 300 divided by 17. 17 cannot go into 3, but 17 can go into 30 one time. I have 10 minus 7 is 3. 2 minus 1 is 1. Bring down my 0. Now I get 130. I need to figure out my multiples of 17. We get 17, 34, 51, 68, 85, 102, 119, 136. So it cannot go into 130 evenly. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We get 119. And then if we subtract, we get 1 and 1, 11 out of 0, bring it down. This will end up being a decimal, and if you notice, none of our percentages are in decimals. So this one is incorrect. Okay. Then we have H. 9 plus 3 is 12, plus 18 is 30. That's our total. Sorry, I was just checking my answer, 30. Then we're gonna just check our breakfast. 9 over 30 equals x over 100. So I'm going to cross multiply and divide. 9 times 100 is 900. And then 30 times x is 30x. And I would divide by 30 on both sides. 900 divide, well, you can cross out our ending 0, so it doesn't even have to be 900, it can be 90. Divided by 3. 3 can go into 9 3 times. And then 3 can go into 0 0 times. So this one gets us breakfast is 30%. Okay, let's go ahead and check the rest. This one looks promising. Let's go ahead and check these two just to see if it could be true. So on this one, breakfast has 0. And if it's 0, it's always going to end up being 0% because it's not even on there. And then this one we have 12 plus 4 is 16 plus 4 is 20. That's our total. So this one would be 4 over 20 equals x over 100. 4 times 100 is 400. Equals 20x divided by 20 on both sides. I mark off my ending zeros. 40 divided by 2. 2 can go into 40 20 times. So this would be 20%, which is not 30. So this one cannot be correct. So H is our correct answer. Like I said, this test is a lot of making sure that you read each one and work out each step. Okay, moving down. The dot plot shows the results of a survey where people were asked a number of tips or trips they had taken to a movie theater in the last year. So we have to select for each true or false. More than half of the people have taken more than 2 trips to the movie theater last year. So first thing, let's figure out how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. There's 18 total. So half of 18 is 9. So we're going to look at 2 trips or more and see if there's only 9 there. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is more than half. So that would be true. Okay, the next one. There are more people who took 10 trips to the movie theater last year than 5 trips. So we have 10 trips is 1, and 5 trips is 4. 10 trips is not more. So this one is false. Fewer than half of the people visited the movie theater 4 times last year. So it says fewer than half of the people visited the movie theater 4 times last year. So we have 4 and then all the way up. We have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is exactly half. So this is false, not fewer. And then there are more people who visited the movie theater 0 times than 5 times. 0 is 3, and 5 again is 4. So this is also false. Again, make sure that you read each thing carefully. We're going to number 8. Okay, the bar graph shows the flavors of gum bought yesterday by the customers at a store. Each customer bought only 1 flavor of gum. So it says the number of customers who chose spearmint is blank times, so we need to multiply the number of customers who chose blank. So spearmint, we have 0, or not 0, 50, sorry. Peppermint has 5. Watermelon has 25. And cinnamon has 20. So there could be 2 correct answers on this one. We have our spearmint, and if we compare it to our peppermint, 50 is 10 times the number of customers who chose peppermint. So that's our first option. And then spearmint is 2 times, because 50 is 2 times 25. I'm just going to write it outside of watermelon. Okay. On your test, it will give you a drop-down menu, and you will have to choose which ones fill in the blanks. Okay, there will not be 2 correct answers on your test, but this is 2 ways of looking at it. Because if we compare peppermint to or spearmint to peppermint, peppermint is 5, 50, or 5 times 50, or sorry, 50 divided by 5 is 10, and then 50 divided by 25 is 2. So we can multiply to get there. And then the number of customers who chose cinnamon and peppermint is blank to those who chose watermelon. So peppermint and cinnamon, 20 plus 5 equals 25. And then that's going to be pep and cinnamon. And then this is just watermelon. And that's 25. So you would say these are equal to those who chose watermelon. Okay, moving on to number 9. The list shows the amount of flour and pounds used by a bakery each day for 15 days. And it says which box plot displays the data, displays a summary of the data. So first thing we need to do when we have a box plot is we need to make sure our numbers are in order from least to greatest. So go 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, 24, 29, 30, 31, 32, 32, 32, 32, and 35. So these are in order from least to greatest. We are going to find our minimum. Hold on, let me make sure I have all the minimum, our quartile 1, our median, our quartile 3, and our max. So our minimum is going to be our smallest number, which is 16. Our maximum is going to be 35. Okay. The next easiest one is to find is our median. I'm going to mark above it so that way I don't mess up like I did earlier to find our median. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on this side. So 29 is my median. And then I need to find quartile 1 and quartile 3. So quartile 1 is the median of the first half of data, which is 19. And then quartile 3 is the median of the second half of data, which is 32. So now all I have to do is find my box plot that matches this data. So we have our minimum is 16. So all of them, we need to see if our minimum is 16. I would say yes, all of our minimum is 16. Then our quartile 1, where the box starts, needs to be 19. So this one we have 19. This one, our box starts at the exact same spot at 15, so G is not correct. This one, our box starts at 19, so that one's correct. And this one is going to be 17, and that is not correct. Okay, now our median, we need to make sure it's at 29. 29 is going to be right before 30, and we're just going to check the ones that we have left. So we have 29 here. And on this one is 26. So that is incorrect. Let's go ahead and just check our last two, 32 and 35. 32 is my quartile 3, and 35 is my max. So F is the correct answer. Okay, last but not least, number 10. It says, what does data with variability mean? So variability means can change or is variable. It's not always going to be the same. It says which data will most likely have variability. So there's two correct answers. A is the number of inches you've grown in the past year. I cannot change how much I grew last year. So this is going to be non-variable. The number of leaves on each tree in the playground. If I go and count each tree on the number of leaves, they're not all going to have the same amount. So this is going to be variable. The heights of students in your class. All of you are not going to be the same height, so this is going to be variable. The number of months in a year, that will never change. That is always going to be 12. That is not variable. So that is incorrect. And then the amount Pete paid for his new shoes. Just one pair of shoes is not going to change. That's going to be not variable. Okay, please make sure that you showed all your work and you turn this in to your teacher.